He could see the bits of mud and twig caught in the folds of its pebbly skin, the stains of blood on its white dagger teeth. Its tongue was as rough as a gravel path. Its nostrils were a pair of wet, grungy bin lids. Its eye a tiny, twitchy rivet. Maybe it won't see us, thought Jem. But just as he thought that, those bin-lid nostrils twitched. They closed up. They opened again. The Tyrannosaurus had sniffed, and its sniff was so powerful that every leaf and branch rattled and Lucy's hair went flying round her head. It was sniffing for food. It had definitely sniffed out the Tootings.
"Fascinating," said Lucy. "For years now there's been a debate about whether Tyrannosaurus was a true predator, able to move fast and catch and kill its prey, or whether it was just a very big scavenger eating only animals that were already dead."
"Why is that interesting?" said Jem. "Because if it is a scavenger it will leave us alone, but if it is a predator it will kill us." "Actually, that is quite interesting." There was a sound like the sound that a house might make if someone picked it up and dropped it from a great height. It was the creature's foot, landing a few yards in front of them. Its curved, cruel claws dug into the earth as it steadied itself. Its toes stretched like leathery bridges. Its leg was a tower of meat. Under the skin, chains of muscle shifted like the gears of a terrible machine. "On balance," said Lucy, "I'm going to say predator." Everyone leaped out of the car and into the undergrowth. No one looked up. No one looked back. No one stopped running until they were all standing breathless inside what felt like a big green bus shelter. It was a single giant leaf, bent towards the ground by a raindrop the size of a melon. Jem found himself staring at the changing patterns on its surface. He could hear his father and mother discussing what to do, but for some reason he couldn't tear his attention away from those patterns. "We need to get far away from that Tyrannosaurus as quickly as possible," said Dad. Not a sentence he'd ever expected to have to say. "But what if there's another Tyrannosaurus round the corner?" said Mum. "What if there's a herd of them?"
"Opinion is divided," said Lucy, "but it's definitely possible that they moved in herds."
Suddenly, Jem realised what the fascinating pattern on the surface of the raindrop was. "Little Harry!" he gasped, for the pattern was the reflection of little Harry's bottom as he crawled back into danger. "Dinosaur!" giggled little Harry, correctly, as he toddled through the undergrowth. Without pausing to think, Jem ran after him. Surely he would catch him in no time. But it was amazing how quickly his little brother could move on his hands and knees. Unlike Jem, little Harry did not have to push leaves and branches out of the way or clamber over roots and stones. He just kept shuffling forward, singing, "Dinosaur! Dinosaur!" until he crawled out into the sunlight where the huge, savage, drooling creature was now examining the bonnet of the car with its nose. "Dinosaur!" yelled little Harry and waved at it merrily. The dinosaur turned its mighty head towards him as Jem burst through the undergrowth and swept his little brother into his arms. He was about to turn and run back to safety when something stopped him. That tiny, dark eye was staring straight at Jem. The Tyrannosaurus was looking at Jem, and Jem could not look away. Not even when that wide mouth opened, not even when that fence of cutlass teeth flashed in the sun, not even when that giant foot unhooked itself from the ground and swung into the air. Then there came a terrible noise, an ear-splitting, tree-shaking noise, a noise that made Jem jump, a noise that went, "Ga-goo-ga!" "Ga-goo-ga," thought Jem. "That's not a very dinosaur-y noise." "Ga-goo-ga! That sounds like ga-goo-ga!" It was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, sounding her unbelievably loud original 1921 motor klaxon. Ga-goo-ga! There was only one thing that the Tyrannosaurus wanted to know about Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, namely, could you eat her? She put her mighty foot down and turned to look at the thing that went ga-goo-ga. The standard Tyrannosaurus test for whether you can eat a thing or not is, does it try to run away? If it doesn't try to run away, it's probably not fresh. The thing that went ga-goo-ga didn't try to run away. On the other hand, it didn't smell off. It smelled sort of interesting. This